The entrepreneur, well, he thinks differently to perhaps others in that he works out ways of using his wealth to be of true value, not just to himself, but others as well. For instance, you might influence your local authority to allow all grass verges to have fruit trees growing on them. There'll be a certain cost in that they have to be maintained, and you don't want rotting fruit on the side of the road. But do you see there's now free food for kids going to school, poorer people that wouldn't otherwise have such fruit? You may have noticed that there are public fruit trees in various places. Might be one or two in the park, a grapefruit tree here or there in the street, an apple tree that just seems to be on a common, but it can be on an enormous scale. So you might, as a wealth holder, own the land of an orchard, and the food is pick your own for a very low price. You're not too worried about what the land's earning, because in the long run the capital gains is enormous. So you can be a great benefit at very little cost to yourself. In fact, great gain. You gain the cooperation of all sorts of people in your society that appreciate what you're doing. You might do the same with housing. You might deliberately own and build and invest in reasonable minimum properties that still afford a reasonable single or family life for the occupants, and let them not free, so that people treat it like a free good and just waste it, but charge considerably less than the market. And of course, you can be letting it to people who you find, from your point of view, particularly worthwhile or needy. The handicapped, orphaned, widowed, whatever, and again, you're not impoverishing yourself by doing it. In fact, you're probably still getting wealthy at a phenomenal rate. And you will think of and dream up more of such enterprises. Small way, I remember, I think it was Pilkington's Glass. I've forgotten the city in northern England, which somewhere near Liverpool, I think. And the family there that owned Pilkington's Glass, which dominated the economics of the whole city, well, if people had a problem, they'd go and ask one of the wives of the family and say, look, I've got this problem, can you help? And there was an incredible, what developed from the old Toryism in England, which was you had a responsibility to the people that worked for you, a desire to help and care for them. You were paternal in that sense. You didn't just say, well, this is the contract, I don't owe you anything over and above that. You say, oh my goodness, you've worked for me for years, how can I help? And they would help. It was a different culture, you see. Wealth becomes more communal, but it's still in the hands and control of individuals who could be enlightened. And if they are, well, that's just such a blessing. So, I might argue a bit contrary to, biblical record of the Jesus story. Sell all you have and give to the poor. No. Take what you have and use it lovingly, with an eye to the prosperity of as many as you can. And keep control of it, because your loving control is what's important. Wealth is needed to produce goods and services that are needed, are scarce. We need the people that own such resources to be benevolent enough to have an eye for such opportunities of blessing, and a purpose in their heart to fulfill it. Bless you. Thank you, Dad.